You know, commitment is pretty hard. Because when you're a part of something like a commitment, you often at times question whether you want to be a part of this because there's so much crap going on. And then there's just little tiny bits of positive things that you see that really grab your attention again. And then everyone around you just approves of it. And then you're like, okay, I'll try to go through with this one last time. And you just realize that you're done. This is my review of Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No. Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No is the third film in the franchise. Yes, I said franchise. This has become a franchise, which basically revolves around the main character of the franchise, Finn. He has become somewhat of a superstar over the last 3 years because of his involvement in the Sharknado attacks, and is receiving an award from the President of the United States, the highest honor ever, for starring in the Sharknado films. He is then granted by the Mayor of New York the Golden Chainsaw because he is now the first member of the Order of the Golden Chainsaw, which never comes into play later on in the film for some odd reason, which is pretty cool. I guess it's just for freaking show! And while he's in Washington, D.C. accepting these awards, I guess he has superhuman abilities now because he's talking with the president, and he is able to sense when a Sharknado attack is happening. And sure enough, a Sharknado attack happens in the same exact area he is in! And even though he's in Washington, D.C., he feels the need to go to Orlando, where his family is at, to go and save them, even though he's in Washington, D.C.! But sure enough, the Sharknado goes to Orlando, Florida! Okay. Now, I know I shouldn't be harsh on this film, because it's a television film, and I didn't pay for this. So I think for something that I didn't pay for, I think I thought it was a good watch. However, even though it was a television movie, there's so many things I gotta talk about. So many cameos. So many unneeded cameos in this film. Alright guys, I know this is a review on Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, but I think you're gonna, hear me referring back to the old films because they're all pretty much the same, really. And also, I better get subscribers for this. In order to watch Sharknado 3, I went back and watched Sharknado 1 and 2 on Netflix. So I've had around 5 to 6 hours of Sharknado. I deserve an award from the President of the United States. To me, these films are just, I don't know, it's so hard to describe because they are incredibly bad. The characters are bad. I don't think the acting is bad, well, in the first one, but the characters are incredibly bad. I mean, I liked Finn, the main character in the first film, but as each film goes on, he gets so cocky in his role that he just thinks that he's like such a superstar now. Dude, you're in Sharknado. You're not a superstar. It's like, I would understand if he's doing it as a joke, but he's taking his role very seriously in this film. And don't get me started on these cameos. Oh my god. Mark Cuban of Shark Tank was the President of the United States. Okay, we get it. This movie is about sharks, and you're using the people from Shark Tank in these movies. We get it. Shark jokes. That's not hilarious. Ah! And there's just other people in this film that are making cameos in here that you just don't understand why they're in this film. Frankie Muniz is in this film. I haven't seen Frankie Muniz in a film in forever. He was hanging out with the first girl, Nova, from the first film. They're on the road together in like in an RV. Nova's trying to figure out like why the Sharknados are happening. I guess Frankie Muniz is on the ride, to find his acting career. I got you, Frankie Muniz. And then we see like other people in this film, like Lou Ferrigno. And then we see like J.R.R. Martin, like the author of like Game of Thrones in this film, watching a movie. Like, what is up with these cameos? I mean, I was watching, I was like, oh, cool. Like, they're in the film. That's great. But why? Why is it so significant? Like, the reason why a cameo is so great in a film is that, it makes sense. They are somewhat part of the project. Like Stan Lee, for example, he is in almost every Marvel movie because he is somewhat the creator of all Marvel characters. It makes sense. It's funny. It's very likable and well noted. Whereas these people are just in the movie. Like, it needs to make sense to me. I will say that the best parts about this film are the terribly CGI'd sharks. And that is sad because these sharks are so terribly CGI'd. I don't know, guys. Like, it's so, I don't want to say it's so bad. It's good. It's so bad, but like, it's watchable. I don't know how to describe it. And there's even like a Sharknado 4 coming out. At the end of this, they were like, Sharknado 4. Like, I can't believe, because like when you're thinking about doing a sequel, you honestly have to know if you're gonna make a sequel. Like, is this gonna like make enough money to like produce a sequel? And they knew that Sharknado was gonna make enough money to build up to a sequel. Why are we supporting this? I think I know why. It's because of this. Jaws. Jaws is probably one of the most well-known films of all time. From Steven Spielberg. It was the film that got his foot in the door. And it was the first time we actually, feared the sea because of sharks. And it's the best well-known shark film. And I don't know, I feel as though the reason why people watch like these terrible shark films is because I feel like everyone wants another Jaws film. And this is the closest thing we're gonna get. That's why, I mean, think about it. That's the reason why you watch Sharknado is because you love Jaws. Am I right? And also because it's like, a little funny twist, like, they're in a tornado. Guys, that's not a reason to watch a film, okay? The reason why you want to watch a film is to watch the film, okay? Not just because it's somewhat relatable to a film in the past, okay? I feel as though that's why a lot of people go and watch action films because, like, they're somewhat like, James Bond or whatever, that is not a reason. You watch a film to watch a film. I don't want to watch Jupiter Ascending because it somewhat looks like Star Wars. No, I want to watch Star Wars, okay? That's what you should be doing, guys. And I don't know. I'm just so sick and tired of these films. But it's like crack, though. I have to keep on watching. I don't know why. It's so incredibly weird. I don't know what it is. One thing that I did like is the usage of Twitter, because I looked it up last night. Sharknado 3 was the #1 most tweeted thing on Twitter, and they used that to their advantage. Not going into spoilers about the film, not that, I wouldn't mind because this film is just terrible, but there is a character who is almost about to die at the ending of Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, and you can tweet whether or not you want this person to live or not. And I thought that was really cool. I thought that was very different. I don't think Twitter usually does anything like that. It kind of reminded me of Batman, A Death in the Family, that comic book series from the late 80s, where you could call DC Comics and tell them if you wanted Robin to live or die or not. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a modern interpretation of that. However, it's just, do you really even care considering it's Sharknado? I mean, if it was like a show like Walking Dead, that would have been amazing. That would have been so memorable and so controversial to like, you know, point out everybody that was like, oh, you wanted Daryl to die. But since it's Sharknado, it doesn't really, you know, matter. Alright guys, so I guess that was like my review of Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No. I think I had a spaz attack. I'm very thirsty right now. Comment down below what you thought of this movie if you watched it last night. Like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't. And also follow me on Twitter, because I'm going to be more active on Twitter now, posting like, you know, my videos and everything. And, you know, I was very active with Sharknado. I was there. I witnessed it all. Thank you guys so much for watching my content. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.